Hi there, my name is Bridget Squires, and I am going to be talking about Shirley Chisholm today. So, a little bit of background on this woman. She lived from 1924 to 2003. In 1968, she was the first black woman elected into the United States Congress, which was definitely a big milestone in politics. She represented New York's 12th congressional district for 7 terms, and in 1972 she was the first woman to run for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. She was a feminist and civil rights activist, and I'm going to be talking about her legacy today. So, some important contributions was that Shirley fought for equal pay, representation in the workplace, and reproductive rights for women. She created the National Women's Political Caucus to promote women in politics. She advocated for the rights of Black Americans to ensure their representation in policymaking, and she was an early supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment. Some of the short-term implications was the breaking of political barriers as the first black woman in Congress. This was definitely something that shattered a very white men-dominated space. Her success inspired women, especially minorities, to pursue careers in politics and leadership, showing that these types of things that were possible for them. She furthered discussions for the wage gap and paid family leave, as these were two of her biggest standpoints as a political figure. And unfortunately, due to the Congress being a very male-dominated space at the time, she did face a lot of pushback during her time. Now I'm going to talk about some of the long-term impacts. So as I talked about earlier, she was a huge advocate for childcare and paid family leave so that women would be able to have careers and do things outside of the home. And her impacts are still impacting working women to this day. She was As an advocate for both the rights of women and racial minorities, she gave a lot of empowerment for marginalized communities. Many of those effects are still being talked about today. And she also brought change to the traditional systems of power and created a more diverse atmosphere in Congress, which at the time did not really exist at all. And here's some sources that I used for this, and thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're able to learn more about an important feminist in history.